This story takes place in the early part of my transition when I'm living in Albany, New York. And I had one of those days that was just awful. They are the worst days that you can imagine. A day where your voice doesn't work, your mannerisms seem awkward. Everybody, but everybody, seems to be reading you. The pronouns are wrong. And all you can think about is you want to disappear. You want to melt and become a puddle. And truthfully, the sooner, the better. And so, you, as fast as you can, you get yourself home at the end of the day. And you close the door. And that's where I was. My emotions were on a bed of nails. I was near tears. I knew enough to say, Sarah, darling, you are not going to meet defeat. You are going to get yourself dressed, and you're going to go right back out there, and you're going to deal with the world. And so I did. I put on one of my nicest dresses. I took a little extra time with my makeup, and I went out. But I was feeling fragile enough that I didn't really want to take the world head on right then. And I thought, I'm going to go somewhere where it's safe. And safe for me then meant going to this one gay bar that a support group I belonged to, we would go after our meetings. And gay bars, when you're in transition, often are seen as safe because even if you're read as transsexual, you feel you're not going to be judged. You're going to be able to relax and be yourself. And I needed that. I needed that in the worst way. And so I go out there and I get out of the car and I go. And they're taking a cover charge. Which is fine. That usually means there's a special night. And that's not unusual. I didn't pay attention to the posters. And I go down and I walk in. And it takes time for your eyes to adjust. Because of how dark it is. So I was about halfway in the room when I realized I am surrounded by a sea of gay bears. Turns out it's bear night. Well now, if you don't know anything about gay culture, bears are big, hairy, gay men that are, into each other, which is fine. I can support that. In fact, 100%, you go for it, guys. Except right now, I'm standing there in a floral dress. And I feel more out of place than if you could somehow materialize me and have me appear in the middle of a sports bar in, say, Dallas, Texas. And we're talking that everybody, but everybody in that place is looking at me, wondering, what's she doing here? In fact, I'm looking at me, wondering what I'm doing here. What am I going to do? I'm not going to just turn around and leave. I paid to come in. So, mustering all the poise I can, I go out over to the bar and I figure I can celebrate Bear Night as much as anybody. As I sit at the bar, I order a drink. I look at the man next to me. Hello, how are you? Yes. He's wearing a big leather jacket with studs. He probably has a tattoo of a flaming motorcycle somewhere I don't see. I have my drink and I wait an appropriate maybe 30 seconds and I leave. And I go home and I close the door and I cried. Oh, I cried. I thought it could not get worse. That even the safest of safe places all of a sudden wasn't safe. I thought the whole world had turned against me for sure. And I tell the story because we all have bad days. And especially when you're at the beginnings of your transition, you have days like this and you think you'll never get over them. You'll never get through them. And you do. And they become part of those stories that you tell, hopefully with a little more humor. a little bit of nostalgia, and a little more wisdom. That yes, they were bad days, but they were good